All right. We just wanted to welcome everyone to our Philanthropy Friday. This is actually our last one of the year. And last but not least, we have Art League Houston. So we are super excited to hear about all the great work they've done. Art League was one of our $15,000 grant winners last year, obviously from our Arts and Culture focus area committee. And so today we have Jenny Ash that is joining us. I'll let her introduce herself and get started.
Well, hi everyone. My name is Jenny Ash, and I'm the Executive Director at Art League Houston. On behalf of everyone at the organization, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone at Impact 100 for their incredible support of our Artbound program as well as our school. So we are so grateful to be in your orbit and very excited to be here today to share a little bit about Art League, the kinds of programs that we do, and then kind of give you a brief update on where we are with our program goals. And then also would love to open it up for questions at the end. So I actually did put together a presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Wonderful. And is that full screen on your end? Okay, fantastic. All right, so just to give you a little information about Art League, our mission is to connect the community through diverse, dynamic, and creative experiences that bring people together to see, make, and talk about contemporary visual art. We were established in 1948 and are excited to be celebrating our 76th anniversary in 2024. We are dedicated to reimagining the role of a traditional Art League model to foster radical imagination and empathy and impact positive social change through our programming. Art League's core programs fall into three categories. So we have our exhibitions, our education programs, and our community programs. So a little bit about our exhibitions. We present innovative and ambitious exhibitions that support bold new ideas and public discourse around important topics by a diverse group of regional, national, and international artists. Exhibitions are selected using a hybrid of traditional approaches, using a combination of an open call in an effort to remain open and democratic, an artist advisory board to ensure ALH is reflective and relevant and responsive to the local community, and focused curatorial vision to foster a thoughtful and critical exploration of current issues. So these are just a couple of photos of exhibitions in the past year. Also, Art League's annual awards program honors artists whose work has had a significant and positive impact on contemporary visual art in Texas. The awards were established as a project documenting contemporary Texas art history and serve to educate the Houston community about the significance of often under-recognized artists. Those who have been recognized have already produced a significant body of work and stand apart as leading figures and visionary talents within the field of contemporary art in Texas. The honorees are featured in solo exhibitions in the fall, and then the Art League produces an exhibition monograph which helps archive the artist's work beyond the exhibition. Art League also has a history of presenting public art projects, such as the Funnel Tunnel by artist Patrick Renner, which was installed on the median opposite Art League's building, as well as Inversion by Havel Rock Projects, which reimagined Art League's old bungalows into an iconic vortex-like structure. So we also have our education department. So Art League has an on-site art school whose mission is to create a supportive and accessible, inclusive community where all learners can exchange and discover new skills and ideas through art-making process leading to personal and artistic growth, meaning-making, and a lifetime relationship with creativity. Established in 1968, it currently serves over 1,200 students each year through studio art classes and workshops led by professional artist instructors. These courses are often offered both online and in 3 fully equipped studio spaces covering a variety of mediums such as painting, drawing, ceramics, watercolor, printmaking, mixed media, and jewelry. In 2022, Art League kicked off a multi-year initiative to reimagine the role of the Art League School to reduce economic barriers to arts education and impact positive social change. As part of this effort, Art League launched the Flexible Access Program, which offers a variety of art classes at a pay-what-you-can rate. So also with our community programs, we offer a wide series of community programs that focus on various K through grade audiences. First up, in 1990, Art League established our Healing Art program, which offers free art classes to artists with long-term illness and disability. In 2008, Art League also established the Art Band program, a free in-school visual arts residency for under-resourced elementary and middle schools, which places teaching artists in Title I schools with little to no art instruction. The programs are usually around 10 sessions in length, and students work on projects anywhere from murals to sculptures to fashion shows. This program was generously funded in part through the Impact 100 grant, and thanks to your support, we were able to bring the program to 11 schools in the past year and engage over 850 kids. So these are just some photos highlighting some of the residencies that we've done in the last 12 months. So another program we offer is our Summer Intensive for Teens program, also known as SIFT, which provides Houston area high school students with rigorous studio art instruction and mentorship. In addition to immersive studio instruction, the program focuses on professional development and expanding students' views of a career in the arts. SIFT serves aspiring young artists who typically come from undersupported neighborhoods and where socioeconomic issues leave gaps in resources available to families. So some of these photos that we're looking at are the mural projects that the kids work on the outside of our building. And most recently, in 2023, Art League established the Skillshare program, which provides free open format arts workshops to Houston area educators led by professional artists. These workshops provide teachers with a space to share resources, engage in creative development, and explore ways to integrate visual arts into classroom curriculum. So that's just a quick overview of all the amazing things that we do at Art League. And again, just wanting to say a huge thank you to everybody at Impact 100 for your generous support of Art League Houston. It really does make a huge difference in our ability to be able to offer the programs that we just talked about. And so specifically in terms of a progress update on the projects that our grant funded, it funded our Artbound program. So as I'd mentioned, we were able to get into 11 schools in the past year, which is huge because for those of you that are familiar, you know, the HISD school system has been going through some changes recently with the TEA takeover. And so it's been very challenging for art organizations like Art League to be able to actually like get into the schools that we usually work with. And so being able to get into 11 was a huge achievement. And then we're also going to be in 4 schools in the next year. So we're currently working with Davila Elementary, and they're working on a zine project, and then Field Elementary, and they are working on a cyanotype and media assemblage collage project. And then last but not least, we are back at Ed White Elementary, and we're going to be working on a mural that the kids will be making, which will actually be on walls in the hallway of the school. So it's going to be a super fun project. And then also the funds from Impact 100 funded a video project that we are currently working on, which it aims to spotlight our school and specifically our Flex Access program. And so we are hoping that this video will be ready to share in February of 2025. And the goal is to be able to share it with other funders to be able to try and get more funding for our Pay What You Can classes. Currently, we are offering about 4 Pay What You Can classes per semester out of a collection of 30 classes. So we definitely still have a ways to go. And then also just to raise the visibility of the school and hopefully be able to increase the number of adult learners that we work with every year. And so that's just a quick snapshot on the progress that we've made so far. So would love to open it up to any questions that you may have.
Yeah, that's so great that you were able to get into the schools because my daughter is in an HISD school, so I'm very aware of the takeover and
Hmm.
there's kind of been a push away from having art and fine art
Hmm.
schools, and it's been frustrating. So because I think your original goal was to get into 10 schools, but you guys were actually able to do 11, is that correct?
Yes, yes. Which is
Yeah.
actually a sort of historic number for Art League. I mean, the program started in 2008, and slowly but surely every year we've been adding an extra school here and there. And so the highest in previous years was 10. So it really was kind of an accomplishment to be able to get to 11. And so one of the pivots that we're making based on the situation with the TEA takeover is we're actually thinking about trying to deepen the engagement in the schools that we still have relationships with, as opposed to keep adding more and more schools, because there's a lot of logistical administration things that have to happen, which have been challenging given the current situation. And so right now we're actually planning to be in 5 schools, but then double or triple the student engagement levels within each school. And I think just in terms of trying to remain nimble and sort of pivot with the current situation, that's sort of the approach that we're taking.
Yeah, that sounds great. That that makes a lot of sense for sure. And so I'm not as familiar with how this program works. And so you said it's like you guys go there for 10 sessions, is that correct? And so is it like
Hmm.
a week? So is it kind of like a semester long thing or half a semester? How does that work?
Well, it's sort of is we're very flexible. So we'd like to, try and reach out to the schools and sort of meet them wherever they are. And so originally the program was really a bit more structured with like 10 1 hour sessions with a particular class. And now we just sort of leave it open to, some schools want to do it all in one week. And it's like every day for 3 hours, and we'd see like 3 different classes every day. So it's definitely more of like an intensive. And then
Mhm.
that works just for them with their scheduling around testing and things like that when they're just not able to like guarantee a, 2 month long period for us. And then other times it might be a short workshop. Like there was a school that has been classified as NES. And so their curriculum is just very different, and there's not a lot of empty space to be able to bring outside programs in. And so the only available day for them was to do something on literally the last day of class in spring 2024. And it was something called field day. So basically it was like the full day, and kids were able to do a bunch of different activities. So they worked with many different organizations. Art League was just one of them. And so we're basically trying to just remain as sort of flexible as possible. And then we also, an important component of this program is that we try to have some kind of culminating event at the school. And that really allows an opportunity for parents to come in and see what the kids have been working on. And so that's what's so great about doing a mural project is by definition, it's already going to be on view for a long period of time. But in instances where it might be like a sculpture project or a collage project, then we just try and find, a spare classroom somewhere where we can basically do kind of a pop-up um, sip and see kind of thing, where parents are invited to come and look at the work that the students have been making. And another thing that we started to do in pandemic times, which we actually continue to do, is host a virtual Artbound exhibition. So if you go to our website and go to the community tab and scroll down to Artbound, it'll take you to a page where you can literally click and walk in a virtual exhibition, and we have all the artwork exhibited in this virtual space. And so you're able to see, the artwork from the various different schools all in one space, which logistically to do in person might not be possible, but in this kind of virtual space, it's just nice to be able to see, the artwork of 850 kids like in one area. So I recommend checking that out if you can.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. That's cool. That's very cool. So how are the kids chosen that participate in the program? Does the school just kind of choose them, or how do kids get enrolled in it, or?
So usually it's all determined by the school and their sort of availability. And so
Mm.
we tend to be able to get into see more kids in the fall, just
Mm.
because in the spring testing sort of takes over. So we just try and start the residencies as soon as possible, after school has started and after the sort of initial chaos of the beginning of the semester has sort of slowed down a little bit. But in terms of the grade levels, like we tried to work with grades 2 through 8. And
Mm.
so again, it's really, the initial process is that we have a planning meeting with the teacher on site and then also a principal. We like to have like 2 liaisons at the school because that just sort of helps with the integration of the program. And so, we ask them a series of questions such as, what are you hoping to achieve with an art program? The art band was originally created as an integrative arts tool. So it was about using art as a vehicle to help kids understand certain things in the curriculum that might be coming up. So if it was like physics or some kind of science or math, we can use art as a vehicle to sort of like onboard that kind of learning. Whereas I think in the pandemic, kids were sort of all at home and they weren't able to socialize with one another. And then everybody was sort of thrown back into the school system. And so we sort of pivoted to not only be an integrative tool, but a social emotional learning tool. And so that's what a lot of our residencies now are focused on, is talking about feelings and emotions and things like that. And so again, it's sort of driven by the teaching artists on site because they usually know, what the kids need, obviously, more than we do. And then we sort of play matchmaker. And, if they want to do a mural project, if they want to do a ceramics project, then we work with a whole ecosystem of teaching artists. So we can kind of go through our list and figure out who's going to be, the best fit for this particular project.
Oh, that's amazing. And who teaches the classes? Are those employees of Art League? Are they volunteers of Art League? And how do you kind of match them up with what school they're going to go to?
So they are teaching artists that Art League employs. And so one of the threads I think that runs through everything that Art League does is art making, whether it's a gallery exhibition or whether it's, an art class happening. And so we do just work with a lot of teaching artists for a variety of our programs. And a lot of it is just sort of meeting people and seeing their work or getting references from other organizations. And then we recently actually just posted a job description because we wanted to recruit some new teaching artists that were sort of outside of the cohort that we've been working with for a while. And so essentially, we did an interview process and then identified 2 new teachers, and they're going to be the ones that are working in the art band programs in the 2024-2025. But we just happen to have like, a big kind of community of teaching artists, like in the Art League school, for example. So we have had some teaching artists that might teach in our healing art program. Like Emily Sloan has taught as a teaching artist, one of 2 teaching artists in the healing art program for over 15 years at this point. But then whenever we do our summer intensive for teens program, we've hired her to also do workshops because she has a lot of experience with working with all kinds of folks. And so also, she has done stuff in the Art League school. So everybody that we work with tends to be able to sort of like, work in a myriad of different settings as a teaching artist.
That's so interesting. And I'm excited to see the video that you guys are doing. I know you said it won't be done until probably February is what you guys are thinking.
Yes, yeah. So that initially kicked off in the summer. And so we recruited Wally Films. And so they're very well known for doing really beautiful artist interviews and artist speeches and very kind of documentary style. And so they started doing visits to Art League in August, and it kicked off with our student exhibition. So in the school, every year, we host an exhibition in our galleries where students that have taken classes in the last year can submit artwork. It's not juried or anything, so it's just very much like you get to choose whatever you want to exhibit. And so we have a big opening for that. And so they came and filmed that opening. And then since then, they've come back to the facility a number of different times to take video footage of classes in session, as well as interview our education staff and some of our teaching artists. So we have a teaching artist named Mary Rogers, who is our jewelry teacher, and she's been teaching at Art League for over 30 years at this point, because the school was founded in 1968. So we do have a couple of teachers that have been with the organization for a very long time, and Art League very much is like their family. And then we also interviewed some teaching artists that have started teaching in the last couple of years. They're like recent graduates from college. So there is sort of, we're trying to showcase like the multi-generational approach to teaching that we have, that I think is one of the unique things that we offer at Art League. So basically they've done interviews, and so now they're in the post-production phase. So the goal is to basically have a first draft for us to review in January. And then once we've all approved that, then we'll be rolling it out online in February.
Oh, that's great. I'll have to definitely keep an eye out for that. So, and that's going to be used to promote, it's the Flex Access Program, is that right? And that is,
Mm-hmm.
well, you explain more what that is for
Yeah,
me.
absolutely. So Art League is sort of divided into three different departments. So we have exhibitions, and then we have our community programs, and then we have our Art League School. And the Art League School was founded in 1968 and was founded as part of our original mission, but also was sort of a revenue driver for the organization. So over time, we've done a lot of work to redevelop the audience that we're trying to reach in our community and exhibition programs to prioritize like diversity, equity, and inclusion. Whereas the school was sort of just a different kind of audience. And so it felt like at times the Art League was almost two different organizations. And so we wanted to spend some time focusing on the school to reimagine it, to be able to reconnect it with the newly formed programs that we have with community programs and exhibitions. And so out of that discussion, we founded the Flex Access program. And so it's a series of pay what you can art classes. And so essentially everything at Art League, from exhibitions, community programs, everything's offered at zero cost. And so the school is slightly different because there is a registration cost. And so there is actually a sort of barrier to access there. And so we wanted to remove that. And there's an organization in Chicago called the Hyde Park Arts Center. And they recently, a few years ago, completely transformed their adult art school to 100% pay what you can. So it just meant that students were able to pay, what they can, and they get to determine, what is a meaningful amount to spend. And it also just sort of removes that barrier to access. And so that really kind of inspired us. And so currently we have 4 semesters every year. And within those 4 semesters, we have around 30 classes that we offer. So right now, with specific funding from various groups, we're able to offer 4 of those classes at a pay what you can rate. But the goal is that over time, we'll be able to raise more and more funding to support more pay what you can classes. And essentially, when students are paying a registration fee, it's going to pay the teaching artist as well. And so what we're hoping is that we're able to make the class more affordable, but at the same time, with these additional grants that we hope to get in, that we can actually pay the teaching artists more, because as we all know, inflation has made a huge difference over the last few years. And so our goal is really to use the video as a tool to help us, leverage more funding in the future, which I think is, an incredibly valuable gift for us.
Yeah, I think so too. That sounds like it's going to be a great tool. So I'm glad we could help with that.
Yeah.
We can help with one part and then kind of help start with the other one. So that's
Exactly. It was very much kind of like a seed project where you guys are helping us build that initial infrastructure to then be able to sort of sustain ourselves, into the future. So we're very grateful.
yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, that's great. Jennifer, did you happen to have any questions that you wanted to ask before we end?
Thank you so much. I have very much enjoyed hearing what you've been doing, and it certainly has given me a window into the types of activities that Impact 100 is interested in funding. I was not aware that you were so involved in the schools. It makes a lot of sense, and it is a shame about what's happening with HISD. So really just thank you so much for your time and to create the presentation for the group.
Well, glad to be here, and thank you for being here as well, Jennifer.
Aha.
Well, great. Well, we certainly appreciate your time, Jenny. We love to hear how we've been able to help out and hear about all the great work, and so impressive. Getting into all those schools I know was not an easy task. So we are certainly thankful for all the work that you guys are doing for those kiddos too. So great. Well, thank you so much for your time. And we will look forward to, I'm going to look at all the artwork that you have on the website from all the kids, and I'll keep an eye out for that video too. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so much. We very much appreciate Impact 100.
Great. Thank you, Jenny.
So nice to meet you. Thank you very much for allowing me to join. I look forward to learning more.
Great.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.